Hi, I'm Ryan, and welcome to my coding bootcamp journey. In this series, I will share my experiences as I go through Flatiron School's web development program. If you do know anyone that would enjoy this series, please send them to the link at the bottom of your screen. All right, and what is new this week? So this week I started my first portfolio project. I believe we have five of them in the entire program. In this one, we're creating a Ruby gem, which is literally, a library that scrapes a website. And being the big space nerd that I am, I decided to something to do with NASA. So I found I was looking for something where we're creating a terminal program that interacts with the user and it scrapes a website, and through this program it pulls up information from that website. And we're using no which is yet another gem that parses HTML and presents it in a way that changes it into some data structures that we can actually use in Ruby proper. So anyway, um, I was looking for sites that had NASA along with some other organizations already, they have a vast archive of all of the various space missions that they've done. But looking at them, they're not structured in a way that would make scraping useful. Probably most likely because those sites already have an established API. I don't know if they do because I didn't really look that far because that's not what this project is about. But I did because no Kogi. In order to do it you need like the tags need to be separated into classes, and it needs to be structured in a way that's uniform and repeatable. So I found worldhistoryproject.org, and that has like 2 pages of like major events that from going back from the from Sputnik 2 being launched all the way up to 2012, when they found evidence of flowing water on Mars. And they have structure that's very friendly to scraping. So that's what I'm going to be using. So today I got to work on that. And yes, I definitely had my share of struggles, and it had to do with utilizing the Nokogiri gem, or utilizing that as a dependency. And I was having trouble. It said unable to find Nokogiri gem version blah 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 blah, when I tried after writing some code and testing a bit. And at one point I decided, okay, at some point I'm going to be using Nokogiri, so I went ahead and added it as a dependency in my gem spec file. And at that point, the user facing executable that it failed. It said unable to find Nokogiri gem version 1.10 whatever. And one and I used bundler to kind of to speed up the process, because you just do bundle gem and then the name of the gem you want to create, and it creates like this whole file structure and like configuration files and whatnot. and one of the files that it creates is a console that you can open up and you use it to like test stuff with your program and all that. And I typed no kogiri in that just to test to see if there any errors popped up, and it returned no kogiri, the word no. So like, okay, that's working. And I kept floundering away at it, and just not Stack Overflow didn't really have anything useful that I could use. And I checked some videos of previous study groups that had talked about this, and that on this particular thing. And and one of them, they had a link to a GitHub repost of someone else's project. So I checked that, and compared that with my gem spec file, and I'm just okay. I'm just gonna, I just said, okay, I'm gonna call it a day, and I'm gonna, come back at it tomorrow with fresh eyes, and go back at it. And I, made sure I copied my code into, plain text files, and saved them in a different folder, because there was no way I was going to repeat that work. And so I went back at it, and so I opened up I double checked the console file that it generated, and I noticed that I had used the wrong shebang. And what I mean by that is, at the first line, with these executable files, you tell it which interpreter you want to use. And with the user-facing executable that I had created the day before, I used the wrong one. I had mine as usr/bin/ruby, which if I because I run Ubuntu on the laptop, and if I had installed everything from the Ubuntu archives, that's where the gem would be. But Flatiron School has go through go through RVM, which is a different package manager. That I don't know what RVM stands for, but I'm pretty sure the R stands for Ruby. So it was a totally different process, and that was in the interpreter that was actually being used was in usr/bin/env, and that the way that it was written in console was /usr/bin/env space Ruby. So it was using a totally different interpreter that actually utilized all of the gems that Bundler had installed, including no kogiri. So I just changed that little thing, and suddenly it worked. So yeah, a little lesson to check the shebang. And victories. So I had one, and it was a video on anti-patterns that Flatiron School provided. And what I mean by anti-patterns is bad design choices. So in this particular video, it had they showed code and everything that it all worked. Scraped a website, and user could interact with it, and he got all the right information. So the end. So yeah, it had the right end result, but it had just at first glance, I was like, oh wow, this person did not follow "Do Not Repeat Yourself" or DRY, because it had I see. Okay, there's three in one class. It had three different methods that all had the same code. So they were providing the same functionality, and another and instead of using like object relationships, it had a lot of a number of disparate arrays that they all zippered together, and the so yeah, that's a little bit more. That's I think it'd be a bit fragile and yeah, I can see that being really difficult to maintain. Even being such a small, uh, program. So yeah, that was nice. I watched that before I got started, just to make sure, because the first 2 days of this week I really focused on wrapping my head around the problem domain, and trying to get a picture of like some pitfalls and some and bad practices to try and avoid as I worked through this. So yeah, those yeah. And what am I looking forward to? Well, next week is break week, so there will not I will not have a video. I will not post a video in this series next week. So I'm definitely looking forward to having a bit of a breather. Yeah, there will definitely be some gaming going on. I'm not gonna lie, and also looking forward to finishing this project. Not because I'm tired of it. Very much the opposite. I haven't started scraping yet, but I'm at that point where I want to start looking at real data and trying to get everything to work. So yeah, that's all I have for you this week. So I do thank you for watching. If you want to stay up to date, please like and subscribe, and feel free to check out the rest of this series. And if you do have any comments or questions, please post them below, and I'll see you in the next chapter.